In this video, we'll talk about child to parent communication using simple event. So we already know some of the standard events we already use in our previous videos like on click, on change, key up, key press. These all events are the standard events. But when we want to communicate from child to parent, we should know the custom events. The custom events are the events that we create ourselves. Okay. So let's go and see how to create and dispatch an event. These are the custom event syntax. Okay. So the syntax is first you call the new operator and the constructor name is custom event, and the first argument that you pass is the event name, and after that in the object format you will pass the options. We'll not go into the options right now. We'll see whenever it's required. I'll explain you about that. So basic thing is you need to create a event name, and the event name has some conventions, right? Naming conventions. So event name can only be string. No uppercase letter is required or allowed. No spaces are allowed. Use underscore to separate the word, but I would suggest don't even use the underscores. Always try your event name to be smaller case and string. So once your event is created, then you want to dispatch it. To dispatch it, our syntax is event target dot dispatch event, and the event you have created you pass into the dispatch event method. In our case of LWC, event target is the this. So this gives us the component event target, right? Like we have used this dot template dot query selector. Similarly, here we're going to use this dot dispatch event, and then you pass your event that you have created. Okay, so this is the syntax how you create and dispatch the event. Let's go to our VS Code and see this in a real time. So I'm in my VS Code now. I need to create some components. So this time we're gonna create a component C2P from child to parent. And I'll say C2P parent component. O small and hit enter. Will create the parent component. And the second component I'm going to use as a child is the model component. So I'll create another component C2P model component. Okay. So now I have two components C2P parent, C2P model. So in the parent component, first of all, we go and quickly create the lightning card with the title child to parent communication, the standard design that we're using. Otherwise, our component will not look good on the screen of Salesforce. And after that I'll say this dot class div class and slds. I'm giving margin around m. Now here I want to do something, right? And in the model component I want my model to be there. So first of all what we're going to do, we'll copy the model code, and for that I'll go to the slds library, lightning design system library, search for model and hit enter. Now here on the right hand side you can see different types of model option. I'll select the small model. I'll copy the whole code. You can click this button to copy it, and I'll come and paste the code here as it is. I'll just try to align this little bit. So I'll just do the formatting, and I don't want this whole code. So what I'm gonna do here is within the header tag I'll remove everything except the h2 tag. Okay, so this is my header which will say model header. Then in the p tag, the main tag, that is this slds model content, I'll remove one p tag. I'll keep only one p tag, and I'll write the custom tag here. You can write successfully created, sort of something, some message we are adding to the model. Okay, and in the footer there are two buttons. I can keep it single button, so I'll remove one button, I'll keep one button and change its name to OK. So when the models open, so it should show heading as confirmation. something, anything you can give. And in the body I am showing successfully created, and in the footer I have single button that is called OK. Okay, so this is the model right now, and I'll go to the parent tag and I'll call this child component there. So I'll call this component C-CP model component. So you already know how to compose the components. And now we want to change the targets. I'm gonna add the targets. I need only app page, not the home page. So I embed the component into the parent, my model component, and model I just copy paste from the SLDS library, and you can copy paste as it is. I just change few things, like I just change the header name from model header to confirmation. I'll change the body. I'll remove everything from the body and give my custom text that is successfully created, and the button is OK. That's it. So let's deploy both of them. So the components is deployed. Let's go to our org, hit the page, quickly place our component. Here it is CP. Let's drag this into the center column. Save this. Now you see automatically on the page load it's showing us confirmation successfully created and OK, and click of OK, nothing is happening, right? So we don't want this behavior. We want some action from the parent that will load this child, and on click of OK again will pass an event to parent to close this model. Okay, so I'll come to the parent. We already know how to hide the child. We gonna use template if true. We are using if true directive show model. Whenever this property becomes true, then only load the model. I'll cut this model component and I place it inside the if true directive. And I'll go to my JS file. I'll create this property show model, and I initialize it with the value false. So it means by default this model will not be visible. Above this, I'll create a button that will make this show model property to true. So for that, I'll create the button and I'll say lightning button. I'll say label. I can say show model, and I can add the event on click of this model, click handler. I'm adding a click handler to my button, and in the JS file I'll create a method click handler. As soon as you click the event, what we're gonna do is we'll say show model, make it true, right? So what will happen now on the page load, model will not be visible. As soon as you click on the button, it will make the property show model true and the model loads. Let's quickly verify this as well, and then we'll write our child to parent simple event. So I refresh the page now, and now you can see the button is there. If I click this button, you can see model is there, but right now this model is a child component, and on click of OK nothing is happening, but I want to tell parent to close this model, right? So let's go and write the code for that now. So this is the real-time scenario in the project you're gonna do. So now you want to pass something, or you want to tell to the parent do this on a particular action. So in our case, we want to tell parent close the model. Okay, on click of OK button. So I'll go to the model component HTML. I'll create a on click on the OK button, and I'll say close handler. I'll give this name close handler. You can give OK handler as well. Any name is fine. So we will call on click of OK close handler. But how our parent get to know that this button has been called? So we're gonna create a custom event now, right? To create the custom event, I'll say const, I can say my event, any name you can give. Okay, and we'll say the syntax to create the custom event: new custom event constructor and your event name. As I said, event name should be always string, always lowercase, right? So I'll give this name close. Never give your event name on close on something. Okay, on keyword is always used when you use the custom event in the HTML. Okay, I'll show you in a minute. So I'll give the event name close. My event is created. I want to dispatch this event. For that I'm gonna do this dot dispatch event. And which event I need to dispatch? My event, right? You can write it directly as well, so don't get confused. You can like write this as well or this way as well. So I just simplify it. I create the event and then I dispatch the event. Now when I dispatch the event, who will listen to this event? So I'll go to the parent and I'll tell in my child component tags, I'll say on close. So this close is the event name that you're dispatching. So the close is there, right? So whenever you use some event in the HTML, it's always start with on. That's why I was telling you, don't give your custom event name on close. Okay, otherwise you have to write on close. Okay, so I say on close, call this method. So which method you want to call? You can say close handler. Any name you can give, and this method should be present in your JS file of your parent. I'll create this. I'll say whenever OK button gets called, it will call the HTML and HTML will call the on close, and on close will call the close handler, and close handler will receive the event and it will say this dot show model, make it false. Okay, let's deploy this now. In meantime, I'll explain you again. So we create the method close handler that's get called on click of OK button of the model. Once the close handler gets called, we create an event with the name close and then we dispatch the event. As soon as you dispatch the event, it goes wherever you have used this model component. It comes to here. It will say, okay, there is a attribute attached to the model component tags. It will say, okay, it start with the on. It means it's an event. Listen to that event, and the event name is close. So which on calling of this event, which method you want to call? I said close handler. It will come to the JS file. It will call the JS close handler, and this dot show model becomes false. So let's go and see if on click of OK now the model is getting closed or not. Now you can see that the button is there and I clicked on the button, the model gets popped up, and on click of OK it's went off. So our parent to child and child to parent, everything is working fine, right? So here on click of OK, child, that is model component, triggering an event and telling to the parent call my method and close me. So this is how the simple event works, and we created a very simple event in which we just give the event name. Okay, so this is the first approach of connecting or communicating from child to parent using the simple event. So in the next video, we'll talk about the event with the data. So I'll see you in the next video.